Wake up, everybody! Welcome to Navy SEAL Blog Talk Radio. I'm your host, David Rutherford. As a behavioral training specialist, motivational speaker, author, and life coach, my mission in life is to help you discover the behavioral truths behind what it takes for you to succeed in any environment imaginable. So stand by and let me help you embrace your fears, forge your self-confidence, and learn to live the team life. HOOYAH! All right.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. All right, all you chuckleheads out there, it's time to get fired up and motivated for this week's Navy SEAL Blog Talk Radio. I'm your host, like I said, David Rutherford, former Navy SEAL, motivational speaker, behavioral training specialist. Man, you name it, I'm going to get you tuned up, all right? That's what I do, folks, because, this week, after, you've had a hard week, man, you've lost your cool probably 25 or 30 times out there, man. You're going nuts. You're so impatient. You can't even keep yourself in your seat because you're just frustrated with how many people are getting on your case, or how many people around you are just not operating at the same tempo or the same pace as you, and you're losing your mind on a day in and day out basis, or maybe it's just you're that person who you're driving down the highway and somebody zoom cuts you off and you're like, you're ready for the road rage, you're losing your mind, you want to cut off. Man, maybe you're even the person who actually guns it, tries to chase them down, and you want to yell through 4 panes of glass in order to say nothing, because all it is, a guy cut you off, man, but that drove you nuts, that snapped your little control button, right? Or maybe you're going nuts when somebody's trying to help you at the Apple store, right? Somebody's trying to help you at the Apple store. You've got a really complicated, crazy question about how to sync up your phone and with your TV and with all this other craziness, and all of a sudden someone just kind of steps into the side there and they're like, I've got a question. Can you help me real quick? And you're like, and you can hear, like, remember the old cartoons where the dude, the cat or Wile E. Coyote, he turns red and he starts all building up to the top and the pressure cooker's going, and maybe that's you in the Apple store, in the Starbucks line, in the movie theater, or even worse, maybe it's you at your work, at your place of work where you go in every day, and maybe there's some FNG, some new guy that has been assigned to you, and you got to spend time helping this person figure out how to succeed at this job, but you can't handle it because you tell them one thing and 30 seconds later they come back, they mess it up again, and it just disrupts your flow of work, it disrupts your ability to get your job done, and it just makes you, again, that little barometer in that little temperature gauge just going whoop, ready, you're exploding on people because, right, guess what, folks, you're just like, because you lack patience. Now, what does that mean, folks? What does that mean? Everybody knows, it's heard the term patience. I mean, I've been hearing that word since I can even remember, man. It's been in my life, right? And the funniest thing is that patience is this thing that is virtue, right? Or this elusive virtue that could change the world if allowed to penetrate the frustration of our impositions, right? But we don't allow it to do that. We don't use it. We don't take this thing on board. We don't bring it in. We don't covet it. We don't coddle it. We don't stroke it. We don't hug it. We don't do any of these things with this beautiful term called patience. Why? Why aren't we doing that, folks? Why aren't you sucking it up and letting patience guide you a little bit in this life? I mean, seriously, what is so imposing? What is happening so fast in your life that you just are going to blow patience right by? You're just going to blow it right off because it doesn't mean anything. Patience is for the weak. Patience is for the non-driven. Patience is for the guy that doesn't have what I have. Yeah. Well, that's absurd, folks. That's absolutely just nuts. Now, I gotta be honest with you, man. There's been plenty of time in my life where I have absolutely, utterly lacked patience because I was young and dumb and not full of any wisdom. I hadn't experienced life that much and realized that if I could just bull through things in my life and just put my head down and move my boots forward, that I could accomplish anything, no matter what got in my mind. And just totally blew off the reality that life takes time. That anything that you want to achieve greatness in your life at all takes time. That anything you want to do that means something, any relationship you want to build, any kind of team you want to build, any kind of special skill set you want to have evolve in your heart and in your mind and in your soul and your spirit, takes time. Now that's the kicker, folks. That's the kicker. It takes time. So all those out there who haven't figured this thing out yet, guess what? It takes time. And that's what this show is all about, folks. That's right. This weekend, this show is Navy SEAL Blog Talk Radio. This show is called SEAL Team Ops Battle Plan Patience. Because if you don't have patience in your lives, folks, you're going to be hurting. You're going to be hurting because time is going to begin to work you over like the redheaded stepchild you are, right? It is what it is, folks. It is what it is. Time has that capability. So today's show is all about, battle plan patience, involving patience in your life, right? We're going to talk about why patience is so important, of having it in your life, understanding it when you need to use it, how to see the red flags going off in your life, and when to know what to do, and how to behave when you lack patience, and how to retrain it in your lives. Then we're going to talk about Navy SEALs and how we learn this incredible lesson, this amazing lesson of life, this mission statement, this warning order that we embrace, that, patience is part of it. And we'll talk about buds and platoon life, and especially downrange, how it plays a role in the combat of life, right? And then we'll get into the Froglogic concepts, right? And in case you're not familiar with it and you haven't been paying attention, Froglogic is my motivational philosophy that I've been working on for 20 years, right? Froglogic is my discoveries, the truths I've witnessed, and my exploration of the human condition over the past 20 years. And this, from me playing lacrosse at Penn State to going through SEAL training for 15 months, to being in platoons, and to be a security contractor downrange working in Afghanistan, and also, doing this, being a motivational speaker and behavioral training specialist, man, these are the lessons I've learned. These are where it comes from, man, and that's Froglogic. Now, again, the deal with this is that I've had the incredible fortune of becoming a SEAL, right? And it's a gift, a true blessing from God for me. And so I'm able to combine that 70 plus years of operational training and elite lifestyle performance doctrine into the Froglogic concept. So that's where this is. And folks, let me tell you something. If you apply Froglogic in your life, you will see a change. And this isn't something that, I just kind of, sprinkle some pixie dust and pull it out of thin air. This is stuff that I've learned the hard way. These are based on the lessons that I've failed. These are based on all the miserable, pounding, painful times in my life where time took hold of my mind. And that's some hardship, folks. I mean, not even both in the teams, but out of the teams too, and my struggles that I've had. So that's the Froglogic concept. And so, if you want to know more and you're interested in it, definitely check out our website at teamfroglogic.com. You can buy a whole bunch of our kit on teamfroglogicstore.com. And if you really want to start digging in and picking away, scratching below the surface, if you will, then pick up a copy of my book titled Navy SEAL Training, Self-Confidence. And in that, I introduce you to one of the 8 core missions about forging your self-confidence, both personally and professionally. And when you forge your self-confidence, man, every single day, that gets you prepared to be able to embrace your fear and especially to live the team life, which is the only way to live as far as I'm concerned. And I, quite frankly, Navy SEALs, I think, prove this fact that if you want to achieve the most difficult missions in your life, then you have to do it by living the team life, folks. It's simple. There is no other choice you have. So that's the Froglogic concept. Oh, and I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest. I'm all over social media, and where I post daily doses of motivation. I give commentary, Instagram pictures about what I consider motivating in life. So, jump on board, become a part of Team Froglogic, and that's our mission, folks. Our mission is to help you with positive motivational content in order for you to endure the battle of life. All right, so we will finish up this little set, the opening segment with the 4 concepts about using patience in your battle plan of life. And these are today, concept 1, consider it a gut check. Oh man, that was brutal. Concept 2, train your mind with time. All right, concept 3, you got to use the swim buddy system, okay? And then concept 4, accept the madness. That's my favorite one right there. The sooner you can accept the madness in life, folks, the more patience you'll be able to have to endure. And that's what's awesome about it. All right, once we finish that whole thing, we're going to take a short break, and then I'm going to take callers in. And if you want to call me at 760-913-4130. That's 760-913-4130. And you can ask me any question you want about the SEAL teams, about patience, about my experience dealing with patience, or just tell me an incredible story how patience saved your life and how patience made a difference in your battle plan and how it helped you embrace your fear, forge your self-confidence, and learn to live the team life. All right. And if you want, you can also hit me up on Twitter. I'm monitoring my Twitter account right now as we speak. So please, understand, just hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Facebook, and we'll get it going, and I'll answer your questions. All right, everybody. So let's get started, shall we? Why? Well, first, what we always do on the show is we always define the main topic or concept or words or intel words. And so today we got to define patience for you. And my favorite source to go for definition, without a doubt, hands down, is Wikipedia, all right? Now, why do I do that? For everybody out there who wants to get all nasty and be a wiki hater or Wikipedia hater on me, the deal is we got to get everybody's mind on the same sheet of music. We got to get a focal point, a starting point for us to jump off on, all right? We can't just have our own unique ideas, although I like those, after we get centered, right? All right, so let's do this, okay? Here's the definition of patience from Wikipedia. All right, patience, or forbearing, is the state of endurance under difficult circumstances, which can mean persevering in the face of delay or provocation without acting on annoyance/anger in a negative way, or exhibiting forbearance when under strain, especially when faced with long-term difficulties. Patience is the level of endurance one can take before negativity. Before negativity. It is also used to refer to the character trait of being steadfast. The antonyms include hastiness or impetuousness. All right. In my mind, this is one of the best definitions we've had so far. I mean, this is outright phenomenal because the entire thing, man, had that interwoven idea of negativity. And I talk about the negative insurgency we face on a daily basis. I mean, that's all around us, coming at us from the left, coming at us from the right, from the top, the omnidirectional insurgency of negativity that's just blasting us on a regular pace, on a regular space and time, right? And that's part of this, man. I mean, it's coming at you. So if you don't learn how to somehow deal with that, put it at an arm's distance, get a little break in contact, get a little violence of action to hold it in its place so you can understand what's happening to you, what's going on in your mind, your body, and your soul, then you're going to get railed. You're going to be run over, man. You're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to be captured by this negative insurgency. You're going to be put in the old POW camp in your mind, right? And that ain't cool, folks. Because patience is one of the key tools that you have in your kit of life, right? On your kit, you got your body armor of your spirit and your faith. You got your LBE that holds your positive attitude, your ammunition, your positive attitude. It holds your, it holds your radio, so you got your good comms, so you can talk to your teammates if you need help. And then you got, your patience in there, which is like it's like your intel system. It's like your comm plan or whatever you want to call it, man. But patience is there, right, in that critical kit for combat of life. Now, one cool thing that that a lot of people do, but I stick away from it. But this week I really did. I had some good help from one of my teammates who sent me a bunch of great quotes about patience. So I'm going to read a couple of these to get you thinking a little bit further. So John Quincy Adams wrote, "Patience and perseverance have a magical effect before which difficulties disappear and obstacles vanish." I like that one, right? Obstacles vanish. And we know about obstacles in the SEAL team. We got one of the hardest obstacle courses on the planet. Now what we look at is you got to run through those obstacles, man. I don't know about vanishing, man, because they're, the dirty name, man, that thing never disappeared. As I smacked my ribs into it a couple hundred times. But I dig where he's coming from. So here's another one by Ralph Waldo Emerson. adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience. Now, I dig this and I see where he's coming from, man. There's a symbiotic relationship of how all nature works together. But, I do agree sometimes, man, time is of the essence, right? And you need to take some direct action in your life. So we don't need to wait as long as a redwood takes to evolve and mature. But there is some understanding that, hey, naturally over the course of time and experience, man, I'll tell you what, when I was 18, I had no friggin' clue about patience. So, I understand where it's coming from there. And then lastly, here's an awesome one. Here it's just awesome from St. Augustine. Patience is the companion of wisdom. That's right, folks. Patience is the companion of wisdom. Now think about how awesome that is, right? Think about how patience plays this huge role in your life as a companion, right? Of how smart you are. Because if you ain't using patience, man, you've heard the old saying, work smarter, not harder, right? And that takes a lot of time for a lot of us. All right. So we got a killer definition. We know where we're starting from. So why is having patience so important in your life? Now, I want you to think about this. So without patience, right, without this incredible piece of kit that you have in your life, then guess what happens, folks? You live in this uncontrollable state of dysfunctional emotion and thought. And that's a tough time. That's a tough thing to do. I mean, we've all been in those chaotic times that I talked about in the beginning when we got started, when I had you wake up and get off your butt. Think about how much that sucks. Think about how much that just, frustration over something stupid just gets the better of you. Man, this still happens to me left and right, folks. I mean, it happens all the time. Excuse me. So you got to realize that everything takes time. Now, everything, no matter what. Now, let me break it down in kind of the minutia, if you will, all right? Now, what takes time? What takes time in your life? Let's start with how much time do you spend eating every day, all right? If you're like a SEAL or a special operations guy, you're probably talking about 9 minutes in a day, right? 3 minutes for breakfast, 3 minutes for lunch, and 3 minutes for dinner. But if you're not, if you're, probably the rest of us like to, especially at work, we take the full hour and whatever minutes you want to stretch, and then breakfast, you got to get out the door fast because you woke up late, and then dinner, you try and slow down and enjoy your meal a little bit more. But think about all that time. That adds up. Let's say it's, maybe 2 hours of your day. Now think about how much time you spend in the bathroom. And I know that's a gross topic and we probably shouldn't address it, but, some people take a while in there or go all the time, man. Let's tally up those minutes. Now let's tally up the minutes, it takes, while you're sitting at your desk to craft a sentence. A really well thought out sentence that you're going to apply in whatever you're doing. How long does that take? How about how long does it take to have a healthy conversation with somebody? That's right, that's what I'm talking about. A healthy conversation where you actually sit there, put your freaking phone down, and listen to the other person as they talk directly to your face. And you open your eardrums, and you open your mind to them, and you open your heart, and you actually take on board with what they're saying. I got this, my incredible friend Nick Hawks, who, by the way, had his first attempt at the Leadville 100 a couple weekends ago. And I just want to say to Nick, you out there, buddy, if you're listening, how proud we all are of you. Man, you did it. You took direct action. You went for gusto. He knocked out 75 miles before the freezing temperatures of the night got a hold of him with a little bit of hypothermia. But, Nick, that was one of the most inspiring things, man. That's patience. That's patience, to settle and train in for that and go big on that. So, that's huge. But he always tells me, he heard from this great sentence from this guy, he goes, when you talk to something, why don't you spit out this beforehand and look at them straight in the face and say, you have my undivided attention. You have all my attention. And imagine what they'll do with that. I mean, that's good stuff right there. So, healthy conversations, all right? Now, add in the 1/3 of the time you spend sleeping, add in 1/3 of the time you just spend by quiet time. And folks, it comes down right now where time is this precious commodity, right? Time really is. Now, the challenge is that modern society has basically put a stranglehold. I mean, it's choking you out. It's got this rear naked guillotine on you, and you're like, holy cow, I can't get enough done in a day if I only had a couple more hours. And and like my instructor Hanato Traveris up from Top Team up in Vero was like, man, if you don't pay attention, if you don't take your time as you're rolling on those mats, right, of life, and because it's all about the setup. It's a chess game, right? You're not racing into and muscling through something. It's about understanding that it takes time to slip that guillotine or that choke or that arm bowl. That takes time, folks. And that's a great lesson to learn. Okay? Everybody thinks that fighting or life needs to be this intensity, this craziness that's just coming at you like, and if you don't keep up with it, you're going to fall on your butts. And that's really because that's the negative insurgency, man. That's the psyops officer of the negative insurgency out there getting in your little brain and twisting it, right? Twisting that sucker all up in knots so you think that time is working you over. But you can't do that, folks. You simply cannot do that, all right? You got to be more focused on that, all right? The reality is that you have to understand that what is quality time. We have it in this horrifically gestorial, I don't even know if that's a word, horrifically gestorial understanding that, I got to spend quality time with my loved ones, right? Well, that's true. You got to spend QT with yourself. You got to spend QT in your job. You got to spend QT training. I mean, that's what it is, where time doesn't have that stranglehold on you, right? Where you gotta get it, where you get, you break in, you get that hand in there, that blade, you push it out, you get in that crooked arm, and you give yourself some breathing room, man. Think about that. Because somewhere in the battle of life, the insurgency is actively participating or actively seeking how to control your perception of time. Now, you gotta turn that around. Flip it on its head by using patience. All right, patience, right? Now, I've been hearing this patience is a virtue since I can't even remember, man, as far back as I was little tight, just hammering around the neighborhood. But where did it come from? It came from my father, God bless him. He said, son, patience is a virtue, right? And this, he's been telling me this for years and years. So when I asked him about it this week to have his contribution to the show, this is what he wrote, folks. This is what my father, who's 68 years old, been practicing law for 42 years, helping people out in the most difficult situations. This is what he writes. He goes, patience has been recognized as a virtue in almost every culture, religion, and people over the span of civilization. And he gave me some references. Everyday humans are challenged to exercise virtue and repress impatience. However, the learning of and practice of patience is a skill set or emotional state or frame of mind that's cognitively reached. Once embraced, its many benefits come, such as greater inner peace, happiness, love, accomplishment, and health. Hell, man, I should have just gone to the old man for the definition instead of Wikipedia. I think that's what we might do from now on for our definitions, right? I mean, because that thing's perfect. Think about it. With patience, you receive inner peace, happiness, love, accomplishment, health. Your mind's right. You're ready for battle no matter what, man. Patience is freedom from frustration. That's what it is. It's freedom. Patience is freedom. Patience and training. Now I'm getting a world grand champion of training because I've got a wife, right? And my wife, the Admiral, man, she's giving me a dose of patience every day. And not because of her actions, because of my own. She puts me in check. And I pay attention because she's my swim buddy. And then what else? Where else am I getting this insane training regiment from patience? From my kids. I've got almost a 3-year-old little baby girl I call the bear. And I've got a 7-month-old I call popcorn. Now, because her head just smells like popcorn. It's awesome. All right, so they teach me patience all the time, right? Anybody who's had kids knows the deal. If you don't have patience, you're done. You're going to be a horrible parent. So patience, folks, patience. Now, where did I learn a huge dose of patience? SEAL training. That's right. Everybody buds. Basic underwater demolition SEAL training. Now, this training, man, is intense. If anybody doesn't know, many consider this the hardest military training on the planet. 7 months of being cold, wet, and sandy, getting pummeled, where failure is success, and the constant barrage of mental and physical tortures. That's buds, right? And, not to knock anything away from the Q course and all in Ranger School, all right? But we all learn it in our own unique ways in special operations training. But in buds, man, every single evolution requires a series and a steadfast resolve and perseverance to patience. Man, if you don't have that, you're done. You're going to ring that bell. Ding, ding, 3 times and you're gone, right? So folks, every evolution is just required. And how do we learn that? Because it's only going to be over when it's over, period. You can't make it go faster. You can't make Hell Week start. You start Sunday afternoon, you finish Friday afternoon. What absolutely devastates kids and makes them quit on the highest basis is because they lose control of realizing that it's taking it one order at a time, one evolution at a time, making it from one meal at a time. And they automatically start thinking, there's no way I can make it. Hello. All right, we're back on the air. Okay. Hey, there's no way that you can make it host disconnected. All right, I'm back on the air. Okay, sorry about that, having some technical difficulties this weekend. I really apologize about that. We're back, and so in Hell Week, man, it really is challenging. That you do this, that you understand that patience really requires it. So in Hell Week, if you start thinking about Wednesday or Thursday, man, you're done. The guys will quit. They're like, no way I'm going to make it that way. So it's a whole part of the evolution. Now, in platoon life, it's even more difficult because, here you are, maybe you've done 1, 2, 3 platoons, you have all this experience, and all of a sudden you start your next platoon, you got 4 new guys in your platoon, and you got to start from scratch and start over and crawl, walk, run, and that's just so frustrating because you're like, man, all I want to do is go 1,000 miles an hour. Well, guess what, folks? You're only as fast as your slowest guy. You're only as fast as your slowest thought. All right? So it requires you to take a step back and pull those people or pull yourself into a patient mind frame so you can perform at a higher level. And it takes time to get there. It just doesn't happen like snap your fingers and blow your whistle and you're off to the races. No, it doesn't at all. All right, hold on. You're going to have a little host disconnect again. Hello, host disconnect. All right, here we go. We're back on the air. Sorry, folks, we're having some extreme technical difficulties this week, and it is what it is. We're going to just drive on. All right, so platoon life, waiting for the people to come up, getting faster, having to start over is all there. Now, downrange, one of the toughest things for me when I went downrange the first time was to realize that there is a much bigger picture going on. And really, there are forces at work that are way outside our control. I mean, way outside of our control. There's nothing we can do about it. And that's just part of the game, all right? There's bigger things, bigger forces in life that are shifting around on that major battle space. Not just on your specific battlefield, the battle space of life. So you got to realize that that stuff is beyond your control. You don't have any control over that. You have control over what you do and what your orders are, and that's what you got to be focused on, period. Because if you try and do too much or think too far outside of the box or try and control other people's, how they're running ops, then guess what? You're just going to cause chaos and confusion and get frustrated, and next thing you know, be pounding your fists and jumping up and down and acting like a Sally. And all you Sallys out there, sorry about that. But it's just a reference. All right, so, you have to think about, listen, stay devoted and stay patient to your mission, the mission you have control over. And folks, the number one mission that is yourself. For that happiness, that pleasure, that motivation, that love that's inside you, that faith to be a part of something like the greater good, to help the greater good, to serve others. That's your mission, period. To serve others. Now, that's a huge thing to embrace now. Now, everybody always goes, well, that's the SEAL teams. Now, how can I do it? And folks, that's why I'm going to talk to you about the Froglogic concept. Again, my 20 years of personal discovery combined with 70 plus years of SEAL mindset and SEAL living. And that's where I come up with this. And if you want to know more, please, teamfroglogic.com. Follow me on all the social media sites. Visit the website. Listen to the podcast. I've also got a podcast that's going to start relaying my daily doses of motivation in small MP3s that you can put on your phone or wherever and get you fired up and motivated. And then this show every Saturday morning at 9:30, okay? Live. Or you can download it anytime on blogtalkradio.com/David Rutherford, Navy SEAL speaker. All right. And also in my motivational speaking event. So this week, we're talking about the 4 concepts of using patience as a battle plan in your life. How do you do it? All right, so let's start with concept 1, all right? Consider patience a gut check. I love this one. This one's so fun. This took me forever to learn, but the faster you can embrace this one in your mind, folks, and in your heart and your soul, the faster you're going to be more prepared to have perseverance. Now, here, think about it in terms of this. So the last time that you got tasked with really something difficult and, people were testing your resolve or your focus, whatever it was, you were like, I'm not giving up. I'm not backing down. I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna stay in this fight. I'm determined. And you let that pride well up in you, right? Well, think about it from an opposite kind of direction, or attack it from a flank, right? So the next thing you get something that's really frustrating, really getting in your face and all that, summon that gut check up like, hey, patience. Patience is my gut check. Patience is what I need to grab a hold of and get fired up about. I need to get focused on using my patience as a tactic instead of letting my mind go and getting all crazy with the fact that I can't control things. Think of it as a gut check, and it'll be a huge help for you. Now, time is a test because the hardship is coming, right? Time is a test for you. And it's hardship. And your hardship is ultimately all life little combat scenarios for you and the insurgency of negativity that's planning its next op against you. So if you are get really good at embracing patience, that time is just going to evolve and it's coming, but you're not going to let it distract your QT of life, then you're going to be good to go. All right, so that's concept one. Consider patience a gut check. All right, concept two, train your mind with time. I love this one. Now think about this as we got this thing in the teams called the pregnant pause, right? And we do it whether we're shooting and like let's say we had to sprint across an open space and jump down into prone, and we have a long range target of like 300, 400 meters, and it's a moving target, and instead of just jumping on that trigger and going blah, 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 right? And just shooting like madness, we give ourselves a little pregnant pause, that little extra breathe, hold half in, pregnant pause, squeeze that trigger, and we take the shot. Now think about your patience like that, right? Your patience is your little pregnant pause, right? Now you might need a little more than a half second like we do in the teams, and that's just because we've trained so hard. When we first start out, that pregnant pause is much, much longer. Now a lot of people call this meditation in life, and that's cool. I dig it. If you want to talk about the Dalai Lama and all those the spiritual people, I'm all about it, man. Those guys are squared away. You look at Buddhist monks, man, they've been meditating for centuries, and those dudes were warriors too. That's what I love, man. They used to go into hardcore battle out there, right? And so that's the deal, folks. Meditation is good. Now, if you don't have the patience if you don't have the patience to sit there and meditate for 20 minutes a day or whatever it is, which I highly recommend, it's good for all of us. I'm trying to learn how to do it now myself. Whittle it down to what you can stomach and what you can take. And there's a great old school lesson that, if you can take a 10-second pregnant pause when you're frustrated, mad, angry, or losing your control, then you're good to go. 10 seconds. That's all it takes. Now, it isn't the 10 seconds that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's the mindset of 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. And when you get to 4 or 5, don't let your mind go back to what's driving you nuts, okay? Don't let your mind go back to that point. Let your mind stay cool and easy and think about, all right, I got to, reset if you have to, recalibrate, reset yourself and start back at 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, and get to 10. And I guarantee it'll be that little pregnant pause that you need in order so you don't go and choke somebody out for real, okay? All right, that's awesome. Okay, concept 3 is the swim buddy system. Now, I live and die by the swim buddy system, and so should you, okay? The swim buddy system is all about checks and balances, and I learned this one, it's taken me a long time. I mean, we learn it in the teams, don't get me wrong. There's always somebody by your side waiting to put, hey knucklehead, man, your strap is twisted on your UDT life vest. Hey knucklehead, where's your dive knife? Hey knucklehead, where's your kit? We check each other constantly. Now, the same is true with our impetuous nature, wanting to kick in every door at the speed of light, right? If you're going off by yourself and you become the rabbit and you just want to go and keep penetrating and get as far into that combat as you can, and next thing you know, you turn around, you're by yourself, you're like, whoa, that's wrong. Now, hopefully you got that buddy, that swim buddy right behind you who grabbed you by the back of your kit and says, whoa there, horsey, slow down, and halt. Because that's the person who's going to give you that pregnant pause so you don't go running into a room full of insurgents and you get blasted. That's what the sim buddy system is. It's a checks and balances. Now, before, you fire off that email at work or get on the phone and start ripping somebody a new one, call up a swim buddy and say, hey, I'm about ready to send this email. Let me send it to you first. And that person reads that and they're like, whoa, dude, that is not what you want to send. You need to halt, take a step back, and rewrite that sucker with some respect and dignity in there and a little bit of integrity. So get that swim buddy. Now, for me, the greatest swim buddy I have on this planet is my wife, my beautiful, incredible wife, the Admiral. And she taught me a level of patience this week that I haven't experienced in a long, long time. And that patience had to do with what she went through some big stuff and me just being there for her on so many different levels. Just slowing down and knowing that no matter what, she could depend on me. No matter what, I was there for her. No matter what, I wasn't going to freak out, lose my mind when I got frustrated about how other things weren't playing out as I thought they should. And just simply by being there and being ready and available to her was training my mind with time. All right? And that was my swim buddy system. And so my wife, the Admiral, I just want to say I love you, sweetie. You're the best. I'm so proud of you. And just thank God for all the blessings we have. And we realize that. And thank you. Thank God for you and what you've taught me. All right. Concept 4, accept the madness. Accept the madness in life. Now, if you don't get what I'm talking about, then you haven't really dug deep and jumped out into the madness of life. You haven't gotten in the battle. You haven't been ambushed by the madness of life, because it's out there and it's coming at you fast and furious. It is what it is, right? It's just crazy out there. So if you don't accept that madness, then they got total control over you. If you don't just realize that those things are out of your control and it's coming at you from all directions, then you're gonna lose your mind. You're gonna become mad too. You're going to lose that control that you need, that loss of patience so you think you can combat madness with madness? Think of how absolutely ridiculous that sounds. You think you can beat madness with madness? That's just absolutely the worst thing you've ever heard about in your whole life, man. And that comes with time. And folks, it is what it is. You're not going to control or change all the knuckleheads out there that are doing crazy things, acting like buffoons and bringing madness and frontal assaulting you with their negativity. You got no control over them, all right? What you do have control over is how you react, period. You have total control over there. There's nobody out there with a gun to your head forcing you to act like an imbecile, a knucklehead, a chucklehead, whatever you want to talk about. And when that madness comes at you, frontal assault. Nobody's saying, grabbing you by the throat and said, you will behave like this, you will act like an idiot. And folks, and here's a comforting thought for you. And I've realized this on this 20 years of discovery. Now, it takes time, and you got to be patient for it, but it all comes out in the wash. So that jackass out there who's pummeling you or acting like a buffoon or usurping you or whatever they're doing, they're the insurgency and you can attach a face to that thing, guess what? It all comes out in the wash. If you demean your own integrity, your own honor, your own ability to be patient with the battle of life, then that person wins. That person gets the best of you. That person has control over you, has control of the time in your mind. You won't have any patience. Now, the last thing that I'm learning in a big way, bigger than anything I think I've ever learned, is that you got to have faith that forgiveness works. That's what, if you didn't hear me loud and clear, you got to have faith that forgiveness works. Because if you don't forgive and you keep that stuff all bottled up in your kit and in your mind, right? Then guess what? That patience is even more difficult because you're always thinking to yourself, how am I going to get even? That dude, they're going to get theirs, blah, 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 blah. You got to just let it go. Now, I'm not saying that you got to reach out and be actively engaged in being the forgiveness business, and yet your mission in life is to just go actively forgive every other person that you've ever wronged or wronged you or whatever. Man, that's ludicrous. You'll spend too much time on that instead of your own mission in life. But what I am saying is give it a little reality check of, hey, they're an idiot. It's okay. I'm driving on. And you pass on. That's all it takes. It's just that one little second of forgiveness. Now, and the big ones and the people that are on your team, right, that are playing team life with you, that are in there, the people you love and care about the most, man, then you're going to have to dig deep. You're going to have to dig real deep. And you're going to have to pull out that faith and forgiveness like you've never imagined in your life. And you're going to have to work on it. And you're going to have to be patient with it. All right. Awesome. So that's the whole deal. Those are the 4 Froglogic concepts that you can use in order to get squared away with applying your battle plan for patience in your life. All right. So what we need to do now is we're going to take a little break, okay? And and then we're going to come back and I'm going to take some callers. So if you want to call me and ask me about patience or whatever, please go ahead and give me a call at 760-913 4130. Give me a call and we'll talk about this and we'll get busy on it. Or just start sending me some questions on Twitter or Facebook and we'll get going. All right, so stand by. We're going to take a little break. All right. I'm good to go now. All right, we've had 2 callers on the line. I think they might even be just calling in to listen, but I'm going to see if they actually got a question for me. So stand by, everybody. Here's our first caller. Hey, what's up? You're on Navy SEAL Blog Talk Radio.
David, how you doing?
Man, if I got any better, it'd be ridiculous. They'd put me in jail for feeling this good.
Yeah. All right. I had a question. So when does patience or can patience ever become too much?
All right, too much in a sense where like you're just constantly waiting and it's getting the better of you. Is that what you mean?
No, I'm just like the life of combat. You know, it's just always there, like persistence. Like, does patience ever run out, and how long? I mean, is that it for you?
Oh, I got it. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question, and yeah, patience absolutely runs out. It runs out all the time, and especially the more aggressive you get in life and taking those direct action missions on, really seriously and trying to change your life. But that's why we have that swim buddy system in place. That's why you have the team around you, because we do lose focus on how critical patience is. We do want to run into gunfire. We do want to get back in that battle. And sometimes we have to take that step back and have somebody really shake us loose. So that's why I always recommend, hey, go find a mentor, somebody that's got a lot more experience in life than you. They can be your swim buddy, check and balance on that one, or use the people that love you most. Just, but you got to be proactive with that, brother. You got to be able to go out and say, hey, man, am I out of control here? Am I the one who lacks patience? Am I the one who, this thing's gotten the better of me? And if they're true swim buddies and they love you and they care about you, they're going to give you honest feedback that really will change your idea and your perception of how to act. Does that answer your question?
That does. Yes, it does. That's it.
Well, awesome. Well, I really appreciate you calling in, buddy, and stay tuned. Keep listening to Navy SEAL Blog Talk Radio, and thanks a lot, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right. We're going to take our next caller here. Next caller. Hey, welcome to Navy SEAL Blog Talk Radio. You're on the air. What you got for me? Hello? All right, I think we're having some technical difficulties. No big deal. We'll just drive on. We've got a bunch of questions that we've received on Twitter here, and I'm going to read the first one. Okay, so how should one motivate themselves to be patient when studying in college or school with all the distractions around? All right, that is a tough one, man. And I'll tell you what, when I was in school, I was the most distracted human being on the planet, and because I didn't accept the responsibility. And I go back to this and say, hey, this is critical where, especially when you're younger and you don't have a good control of your patience, this is where that swim buddy becomes paramount. that you got to have the person and back each other up to support, because, you know, two minds wanting to be patient or committed to your study habits or you're taking your tests or your time management skills is much better than one, because you just don't have that psychological fortitude in order to you know, push away from that keg party, or push away from going out on all those dates, or push away from, you know, playing 25 straight hours of Halo or Call of Duty. So that's when, you know, that swim buddy system. Now, you know, choose a swim buddy that is, you know, capable too. Don't choose the swim buddy that is just as easily ready to throw in the towel as you are. I mean, that's huge. Make sure you choose the right swim buddy, okay? And that's the deal. That is the absolute deal. All right, that's a great question. All right, I got another caller on. Here we go. Hey, welcome to Navy SEAL Blog Talk Radio. What's your question?
Hey, how you doing there, Instructor Rutherford?
My gosh, it's like,
Can you hear me?
I got you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. So I can.
All right, send it. What's your question?
Is it, Instructor Rutherford, I'd just like to thank you for what you're doing here on the radio. Massive help to so many people around.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome.
This is your Twitter buddy there, Captain Positive.
Ah, yeah! I love you, dude. You're awesome.
Can you still hear me there?
I got you loud and clear.
All right, roger that. Yeah, patience, sir. It's definitely something that's lacking with younger generation that's definitely coming up. And it's definitely something that needs to be learned and it needs to be practiced.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, we're really losing a tremendous amount, you know, a tremendous asset by the instantaneous gratification that is being just infused into our children's mindsets. And you can see it all over the place.
Roger, yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't want to keep you too long there, Instructor Rutherford, but me and my 2-year-old got up this morning, we're ready, practicing Froglogic, got in the front meeting and rest, knocked out a couple of push-ups there, and tell you what, it's helping out a lot. You're changing a lot of lives.
Well, Captain Positive, I can't thank you enough. As you know, this is my mission, my calling in life to do this, and I get so fired up when I see your posts and get those online, man. It's just awesome. So you have a glorious, blessed day, and can keep on listening, my brother.
Roger that. You too, sir.
All right, I got another caller on the line. Let's take this call. Here we go. Hey, welcome to Navy SEAL Blog Talk Radio.
HOOYAH, Instructor Rutt.
HOOYAH! Love it. What's your question?
Hey, buddy, this is Johnny. I don't have a question, but I wanted to give a little testimony, maybe say thank you to you.
Oh, please do. Please do.
Tell you about my experience with you so far. Boy, earlier this year, I was living Team Knucklehead, and I was having a really tough time going through some hardship in life, and I've got my wife and my 2 boys. I work in a small construction company, and I really was just letting it all get to me. And I had a day earlier this year where I was out on a job alone. The guy came through and just dumped everything on me all at once, and I just was really low, and I thought to myself, man, I can't take this much longer. I've got to do something to get my confidence back. And I've been listening to a business seminar on YouTube, and I got on, and I typed the magic words, self-confidence. And I had this guy pop up with the grizzly-looking beard and the cool Team Froglogic hat, which I got to get soon, Team Froglogic store. But, you know, there's the romance. I saw Navy SEAL, self-confidence, and I thought, wow, that guy's got to know. So I clicked on it, but even once you get past that romantic vision of Navy SEAL and the cool factor of that, sir, the fundamentals, the basics that you give back to all those out here, that's what we need. That's the truth. And I tell everybody out there that's listening to you, stay for the message, because it's there. And today, I mean, that's been about 6 months ago. I've been following you. I've been listening every week, and I'm so much more grateful for my family, and I'm not afraid of the future now. I can do this, and I really appreciate it.
Oh man, I got to tell you, brother, that's one of the kindest and most incredible things that I've ever heard. And man, I just, you're not alone, bro. We've got you at Team Froglogic. Your family's got you, and it sounds like you've got a hold of yourself now. And you're right. You're not afraid. You embrace those fears and use them, because we love you, and we're not gonna leave you. And I know you got everything inside you that it takes to do this, and I feel so blessed and so honored and just so grateful for your call right now. It just that just made my day. I really appreciate it. So thank you.
Awesome, bud.
All right, man. All right. You have a great day and keep on listening.
I will, sir. Thank you.
You got it. Out. All right. We got time for, I think, one more caller. We're going to take it here right now. Hey, you're on Navy SEAL Blog Talk Radio. Go ahead. What's your question? You there? Man, sometimes technical difficulties will just bite you in the tuchus. All right, my bad. All right, we got time for one more question here that I got on Twitter. And here's the question. How do you practice your patience while you're healing from an injury that is stopping you from getting out there and getting it done? All right, this is an incredible question. And I used to deal with this all the time, folks, because of, I was the corpsman, I was the medic in my platoon, and guys would get injured. And I actually suffered through many injuries myself too. And you want to get back in there. But guess what? I mean, an injury itself is the greatest training tool that you can imagine for patience. It's remarkable. It forces you to slow down. It forces you to see life at a different pace, a pace that you can finally embrace, a pace that you can look at, a pace that you can take in all the little details of life. You look at it, you see each little thing. I mean, it's the most beautiful gift that you can get, I mean, an injury is something that God gives you that literally says, all right, here, I'm forcing you to slow down. Now take a minute, take a step back and use some patience to embrace the goodness of your life. Think about how grateful you are for being alive. Think about how grateful you are for the life that you have. Think about how grateful you are that you can heal, that you are going to get better. I mean, we're experiencing this myself in our own home right now, man, and it's the most beautiful thing in the world because it's forcing all of us to appreciate just how blessed we are. Now, that is an awesome thing in life, folks. So don't allow the injuries to get you. In fact, what you got to do is flip it around, embrace the injury, look at life a little bit. Take the time. Stop thinking about when am I getting back? When am I getting back? When am I getting back? Of course, focus on your physical therapy and rebuild yourself in a better way. But this is the time for you to rebuild your mind in a more efficient way. Rebuild your whole soul in a more efficient way. In fact, this is an opportunity for you to take a time and start training those other aspects, right? Your body's injured, but man, start hammering home your mind and your spirit a little bit higher, at a higher level. Because that's what you got to do, man. That's what the opportunity is for you. Trust me, man, there are a lot of guys in the teams that have been really injured, devastated. But because of their injuries, they have come back and done amazing things. Man, check out, Jason Redmond with Wounded Wear. Man, there's a guy who almost died, and he's doing incredible things because in that time of recovery, in that time where he evolved, in that time where he healed, he realized that his service to the greater good can continue. Not by carrying a gun, but by helping other people. So folks, if you're injured, slow down, smell the roses, look around, put your head on a swivel, and embrace the fact that you have the patience and the time to live life. All right, that's awesome. So folks, I mean, that's the deal, man. I hope everybody's enjoying this one. Man, there's some great callers to everybody today, great questions on the internet. I love it, man, very cool. we talked about why patience is so important in your life, and you got to embrace this, folks. This is something that the negative insurgency is constantly coming at you. It's all over the place, and if you don't embrace patience in the capacity that you need to, you're going to struggle. I promise you that, and you're probably already struggling now, but you need to have some patience. All right, and then we talked about SEALs and how SEALs learn this. And the fact that everything takes time. We realize that we can't just pick up a gun and shoot in the 10 box, right off the or the 5 box or whatever it is. And we got to take time. It takes thousands and millions of rounds to become good at what we do. So that's patience. Every evolution we do is patience. On the battlefield, it takes patience to defeat the will of the negative insurgency. Okay? So it's huge. And then we got in, of course, the last part, the Froglogic concept. We talked about the 4 concepts. Consider patience a gut check. Twist it around, man. This is good for you. It's good training. Then we talked about training your mind with time and taking that pregnant pause in life, that one little pregnant pause to get you through, whether it's your 10-second count, your 20-minute meditation, or just enough so you don't lose your mind. Then we talked about the swim buddy system. If you are going to fire something out, lose control, have somebody there that can hold you, resist you, restrain you, and train you in order to be smart about patience. All right, and the last, accept the madness. Folks, the world is a crazy place. Trust me, I've been all over the place. I've seen human condition in every possible environment. And if you don't embrace that madness as the fact that it's out of your control, you have no control of the madness, folks, then you're going to become mad yourself. And it is what it is. You can't control it. And have faith in the fact that it all comes out in the wash. Those people who are driving you nuts, they'll get theirs. Karma's a bitch, right? And also faith that forgiveness works. Even if it's 1 second that you need to that dude's just an idiot, I'm going to let it slide. That'll save so much time, confrontation, and just despair in your life. And also in the big, huge things of personal space, work hard to forgive, because that stuff will tear you up. I promise you. All right. So thank yous, first and foremost, my training, all those in the brotherhood, all those who taught me patience, man. God bless you guys. Thank you. I want to thank my family, my pop, especially Pop. Thank you for teaching me that patience is a virtue since I was a little tot, man. A huge lesson for me, huge. And then especially my wife, the Admiral, thank you for teaching me, especially this week, baby. I love you. We are so blessed. And to my wonderful 2 kids, the Bear and Popcorn, you guys are teaching me for the rest of my life. God bless you. Thank you. All right, folks, that's the show. Battle Plan Patience. I want to thank everybody again for my listeners, my callers, everybody that's paying attention and following me. If you want to know more, teamfroglogic.com. Buy a bunch of stuff online at Team Froglogic store. We got hats, t-shirts, books, patches, you name it, it's there. Follow me on Facebook for every day, having a motivational daily dose. Go to Navy SEAL Podcast for those doses and MP3s. Follow me on air at Navy SEAL Blog Talk Radio every Saturday at 9:30 a.m. East Coast time. I'm here to give you a dose of huge motivation and Froglogic that can get your mind right, all right? And also, again, folks, listen, this is stuff you got to give back. Keep spreading the word. Use Froglogic. Teach other people. Spread the word and push that team life out there, because that's what it's all about. That's what I'm all about. So, thank you for listening. I'm your host, David Rutherford, Navy SEAL motivational speaker, behavioral training specialist, author, and life coach. It is my mission in life to help you embrace your fears, forge your self-confidence, and learn how to live the team life. Oh yeah, one more thing, don't forget, I'm your new swim buddy. Let's get motivated. Ow!